In the quiet hours before sunrise, when the stadium lights rest and the world stops paying attention, a different kind of noise lives inside an athlete's mind. It's the kind of noise that whispers fears, questions pride, and challenges identity. For Max Muncy, that noise just became deafening. Because one rumor, just one spark, had ignited a firestorm across Los Angeles. A superstar bat, a big-name hitter, a new weapon the Dodgers might bring in. And suddenly, the question wasn't about the team. It was about him. You can hear it echoing through every hallway of Dodger Stadium. Is Max Muncy safe? Is he still the guy? And the truth, even he didn't know. Muncy had been here before. Overlooked, underestimated, dropped, doubted, dismissed. His entire career was built on proving people wrong. But this time, it felt different. This time, the whispers were louder. The headlines were harsher. The competition was real. Media voices didn't sugarcoat it. Dodgers looking for an upgrade. Veteran bat available. Could push Muncy. Could replace him. Fans debated. Analysts speculated. And somewhere in his heart, something tightened. He felt that familiar sting, the same sting he felt years ago when he was told he wasn't enough. But pressure does something strange to athletes like Muncy. It doesn't break them. It shapes them. And in that shaping, something powerful awakens. He arrived at the stadium earlier than usual, before the cameras, before the noise, before the weight of expectations could settle onto his shoulders. The air was cool, the field empty, the silence sharp enough to slice through doubt. He walked to the batter's box, exhaled, and gripped the bat tighter than he had in months. This box, this dirt, this rectangle of chalk, was his refuge. It's where he rewrote his career once. It's where he'd rewrite it again. Every rumor that tried to break him turned into a reason to swing harder. Every headline became a challenge. Every whisper became fuel. And in the center of that empty stadium, one truth hit him harder than any pitch ever had. Competition wasn't the enemy. Competition was the reason he'd survived this long. He had lived his entire life in the shadows of players with bigger names, flashier resumes, louder reputations. He wasn't supposed to make the league. He wasn't supposed to be a star. But he was. Not because someone believed in him, but because he believed in himself. So when the Dodgers rumor mill started spinning again, when the front office looked outward, when fans questioned his future, he didn't crumble. He sharpened. He steadied. He prepared. Because deep down, he understood something even the loudest critics didn't. Pressure creates clarity. Competition creates greatness. And doubt creates warriors. As the sun rose and the stadium began to fill with life, he kept swinging. Ball after ball, crack after crack, echo after echo. It wasn't about proving the Dodgers wrong. It wasn't about fighting off some incoming star. It was about refusing to lose who he was. A fighter, a grinder, a survivor, a man who had built a career out of storms just like this one. The batting cage rattled with each hit, not from anger, but from purpose. Each swing carried the weight of a man who wasn't ready to be replaced. A man who refused to be forgotten. A man who knew his story wasn't finished. Not yet. And then, something shifted. In one perfect moment, one perfect swing, the ball rocketed off his bat with a sound that seemed to silence every rumor, every headline, every doubt. It soared deep into the empty outfield, disappearing into the morning haze. Muncy stood there, chest rising, heart steady, eyes fierce. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He simply breathed. Because he understood what that moment meant. Not for the fans. Not for the media. Not even for the Dodgers. But for himself. Competition wasn't there to push him out. It was there to pull something greater out of him. And if a superstar came to Los Angeles, fine. He wouldn't run. He wouldn't hide. He wouldn't shrink. He would rise. Because this wasn't the story of a player fearing replacement. This was the story of a player rediscovering his fire. A story of pride. A story of purpose. A story of a man who refused to be defined by rumors. Max Muncy walked out of the cage, sweat on his brow, dirt on his hands, and determination burning in his chest. He was ready. Ready for the competition. Ready for the critics. Ready for whatever the Dodgers threw at him next. Because greatness isn't built in moments of comfort. Greatness is built when the world doubts you most. And on that quiet morning in Los Angeles, as the stadium finally came alive and voices filled the air again, Max Muncy had already made his decision. He would not let the rumors write his story. He would write it himself. With every swing, with every inning, with every breath, a new season was coming. A new challenge was rising. A new fire was lit. And Max Muncy, tested, pressured, doubted, stood ready to prove something far more powerful than any rumor could ever suggest. The heart of a competitor doesn't fade. It only burns brighter.